This monster of a smartphone is the Lenovo Phab 2 Pro. Beyond offering a big, productivity-friendly 6.4-inch screen, the Phab 2 Pro is also the first commercial handset to incorporate Google's Tango technology, giving the phone the sensor package needed to scan and analyze its environment in real time. Are Tango and its apps compelling enough reasons to give the Phab 2 Pro a chance, or is this one smartphone experiment that's better left on the drawing board? I'm Stephen Shank with PhoneArena, going hands-on with the next generation of smartphone tech in my Lenovo Phab 2 Pro review. The Phab 2 Pro is a giant of a phone, to the point where it's almost comical in its proportions. Does Lenovo actually expect you to carry this thing around? But while most manufacturers only have to find room to squeeze 2 cameras into their handsets, Lenovo adds an additional ultra-wide-angle camera, as well as one dedicated to depth measurements to help round out Tango's sensor package. All that hardware takes up space, and the Phab 2 Pro seems to be the best compromise we're going to see for now, insofar as squeezing all that tech into the most compact, least objectionable package. Once you get over the sheer size though, the Phab 2 Pro isn't a particularly bulky looking phone. Its design is very typical of smaller devices, and its thickness of 8.9mm isn't further tarnished by excessive camera bumps. The slightly raised imaging hardware we find here is far less pronounced than the bumps on many popular flagships. The big 6.4-inch display arrives with a Quad HD 1440 by 2560 resolution, which seems like a good fit for a panel this size. It's acceptably bright, kind of middle of the road compared to the rest of this season's handsets, but you may struggle a little with visibility in especially sunny conditions. While images look alright, our test revealed some unusual issues with color reproduction that saw mid-range tones becoming oversaturated. Luckily, there are software controls to adjust both color temperature and intensity. A big screen like that sounds great for watching video, and the Phab 2 Pro really does do a decent job at media playback. The mono speaker on the handset's bottom edge sounds alright, if not particularly rich with bass notes, and the phone comes with a pair of JBL earbuds for private listening. Like the internal speaker, those sound fine, not great, though we noticed output coming across a bit muddy at times. On the plus side, they are very comfortable to wear. The Phab 2 Pro is powered by a Snapdragon 652, a somewhat surprising mid-range processor choice, considering the apparent computational demands of Tango. Nevertheless, the chip does give the Phab 2 Pro some nice balance in terms of power demands, and really does feel spry enough for the majority of apps you're likely to be running. The phone gets 4GB of RAM, and while that should be more than sufficient for many tasks, Tango is hardly smartphone business as usual, and we did encounter the stray out-of-memory error when scanning large scenes with Tango-enabled software. Internal storage is a healthy 64GB, with room for even more thanks to a hybrid SIM tray. You can have either 2 SIMs or 1 SIM and a microSD card. Speaking of power balance, Lenovo gives the Phab 2 Pro a 4050 mAh battery. That's around what we see from some 7-inch tablets, so it's great to get on a phone this size. Unsurprisingly though, the big 6.4-inch screen eats up a lot of that juice, but the total hardware picture balances out to give us an operational life of around 7 hours of screen on time in our custom tests. That's not too far removed from that of many popular phones. So while battery life isn't exceptional, it does seem plenty sufficient. Recharge times are pretty darn speedy as well, with the Phab 2 Pro taking about 100 minutes to restore its charge to full. Should you feel so inclined to use the Phab 2 Pro as a phone, and you can get over its preposterous size, voice calls actually sound pretty good. Honestly, our biggest issue is finding a way to comfortably hold the phone, and spoiler alert, there really isn't one. But if you just have to make a call, the Phab 2 Pro really does sound decent. The handset supports GSM-based carriers like AT&T and T-Mobile in the States, though Lenovo's less than forthcoming with a complete list of supported bands. In terms of wired connectivity, the Phab 2 Pro supports micro USB, which is rapidly becoming an oddity in this increasingly USB Type-C saturated market. That has little ultimate impact on how you'll use the phone, but it does make the hardware feel just a little bit dated. All the Phab 2 Pro's imaging hardware may be primarily here for Tango, but the phone will handle 2D camera duty just fine. Images from its main 16-megapixel camera don't look too bad, and that's especially true with HDR mode enabled. Focus isn't always as sharp as we'd like it to be, but the camera usually gets the job done with acceptable results. Maybe the best word to describe the Phab 2 Pro's camera is serviceable. Video recording isn't quite as successful as still imagery. For one thing, there's no 4K support, and it seems just a little silly to be shooting with a max res of 1080p on a phone that's got a Quad HD screen. More troubling is a constant clicking noise that turned up in our recording samples. Lenovo informs us that this is out of the ordinary, and we may just have ended up with a bad handset, but it's something to keep an eye out for all the same. We also had more focus problems, issues with the noise-canceling audio, and just generally not a great video recording experience. Okay, so how about that Tango business? That's why we're looking at this phone after all. As you're probably aware, Tango lets apps take advantage of an advanced array of on-phone sensors, scanning the world around you and tracking the phone's place in it. That opens the door for a wide variety of interesting apps, from tools that use Tango's sensors to perform measurements, to games offering some next-gen augmented reality action. Make no mistake, Tango is an impressive accomplishment, and it's great to see a phone push the envelope so far in terms of what smartphones are able to do. And while you can use Tango to measure your living room as you shop for a new TV, or see how some new furniture from a virtual showroom would look right in your own house, right now Tango is just very far from polished. Using it, we not infrequently ran into error messages about problems connecting to Tango's cameras, or learning that the Tango service itself had crashed. Some apps fare better than others, but those that really push Tango to its limits can feel especially bogged down when performing detailed scans of their environments. There, dropped frame rates, sluggish operation, and even out-of-memory errors impede the Tango experience. There's clearly some bottleneck, but if that's in the Tango sensors, the software that connects them to apps, the apps themselves, or just limitations in the Snapdragon 652 chip, we can't really say. Tango apps are very interesting, and we can't wait to see how they mature as more users start picking up compatible hardware, but right now, the whole Tango package still feels very much like a beta. If you know that going in, maybe that's fine. Some people love being early adopters, but if you demand a little more refinement from your smartphone, you might want to wait for the next generation of Tango offerings. The smartphone world is full of firsts. Tango is an intriguing new technology, and it only stood to reason that someone would eventually build a phone around it. And while the Phab 2 Pro accomplishes that task, this is one first that immediately has us wishing for a second. Tango hardware needs to be miniaturized, and Tango software further refined before any of this is going to approach anything like mass market appeal. The Lenovo Phab 2 Pro offers an intriguing early look at that future, but for now, there are just too many compromises. I'm Stephen Shank with PhoneArena. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for even more smartphone action coming soon.